Hey, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and today I have a special request from one of my coworkers because you may not know this, but I sit at a desk all day long, and so do all my coworkers. So I was asked how we can keep our bodies from turning into a shrimp. So I've called this little practice Shrimpin' Ain't easy on our bodies. If you have props like blocks or large books that you can use and a strap or any sort of scarf that you can use, like a strap, that's going to be super helpful because we'll be using those today. We're going to start out by taking one of our blocks or our big book, and we're going to place it to where it's going to come underneath the shoulder blades. Oh, and this is my little sidekick, Lionel. He's going to always be so helpful for me while I'm here. And what we're doing is we're having our chest come over and we're just reaching the arms back with another block or book. And we're just bringing the block up and over. So it's not really a sit-up, but it kind of feels similar to one. We'll do this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we'll set those props to the side, and we'll just come onto our back for a moment, checking in with our breath. So feeling the side bodies expand, the rib cage expand, and then on your exhale, feeling it draw in. Couple breaths here, starting with the space right below the navel, drawing upward to where you feel an expansion through the belly, the side bodies, the rib cage, all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then exhale, letting it go. 2 more. We inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. And then get a nice full body stretch, extending the arms up overhead, extending those legs out in front of you. And then we'll bring our knees into our chest as we roll it up to a seated position. And we'll make our way into a tabletop, just kind of spreading through the fingers nice and wide, maybe finding a little bit of movement here. And then we're going to make our way into a down dog. So we'll tuck our toes under as we lift up those hips nice and high, just kind of bicycling the legs out, shaking out the head and checking in with your breath as you come into this upside down shape. Take a full breath in here. Exhale, we'll soften those knees, gazing forward as we walk it to the front of our mat. And we're going to find our strap now as we roll up to standing. And we're going to take that strap between the hands. You choose how wide you want it to be. This is a situation, it's very humbling. And we'll bring it back and forth. So you may notice as you start to do this, you might not need to widen the strap. You don't want to create a situation where you have to really maneuver it in an awkward way to get it over. And we'll continue moving with our breath. So as we inhale, we draw it back. Exhale, bringing it forward. Next time we draw it back, hold it here, breathing into the chest, lifting up your gaze. So feeling a lot of expansion through the chest here. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll bring it back up overhead. We're going to lean in towards our right. We can really draw that right hand down as the left arm comes up overhead, breathing into that side body, keeping your gaze straight ahead, or you might gaze towards the arm that's up. And then we'll switch it out. So right arm will come up, left arm down, finding your focal point. Big breath in here. Exhale. And then we'll bring it back overhead. We're going to place it behind us so that our palms face outward, drawing the shoulders down as we lift up through the chest. Exhale, coming into a forward fold. Feel free to widen your stance and bend the knees as much as you need, letting your head relax when you come into this space. And you might rock from side to side. Big breath in here. Exhale, we'll release the strap. We'll place it to the side. And we'll step our left foot back, coming into our runner's lunge. If you have those blocks and it's helpful, just start to find a little bit of movement here, opening up in the backs of the legs. But what it also allows us to do is, as we come forward, really draw the shoulders back, lift up through the chest and the gaze. Exhale, let it go. Next time we shift it forward, lower that back knee down right above the kneecap and take one of the blocks or your book, and we'll bring it back as we open up through the chest. We're just going to lift and lower here. Yeah, next time that we lift, hold it here. Take that with the right hand and reach it back as you reach the left arm forward. We're going to bring that block down or our book as we lift up through the chest. Gaze could be past your shoulder, up towards the fingertips. Full breath in. Exhale. Bring both hands down at the front of the mat to each side of your foot, and we can place our hands there as we step it back into our plank or our push-up position, nice and strong. As we exhale, we'll lower all the way onto our bellies. And we'll take our blocks to where they're on the second height, or it doesn't matter if they're books. We'll just bring our gaze into the mat for a moment, checking in with our breath as we feel that inhale and exhale. And then go ahead and lift up the torso, but keep your neck long. We're just going to lift these up and then lower. Lift, lower. Lift, lower. And we're here for 3, for 2, and 1. And then we'll bring our forehead down. Hands come underneath the shoulders as we push it back into our down dog. Taking a full breath in here. Exhale, softening the knees. We'll gaze forward and walk or float to the front. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Exhale, forward. And let's take that strap again as we roll all the way up. Bring it up overhead as we'll start to bring it forward and back. Don't worry about the pace. Worry about the integrity of keeping it to where it's not maneuvering awkwardly like this type of stuff. Next time that you bring it back, keep it here as you lift up the gaze, really breathing into the upper back. The chest, the shoulders. Big inhale. Exhale. And then we'll lean into the right. Find your focal point. And then we'll lean into the left. Find your focal point. Big breath in as we come back to center. Exhale, bring it back behind you, palms face outward as we work those shoulders down. Exhale into our forward fold. Big breath in here. Exhale, release that strap. Left foot is forward, his right foot is back. Maybe you have your props here as we shift forward and back. Opening up the back of the leg, but also giving us an opportunity as we shift forward to bring that chest up. You'll notice if you bring your back knee down, you're going to also feel that in the hip flexor. Another culprit for tightness by sitting at a desk all the time. And the next time that we shift it forward, lower that back knee down. Take your block in between the hands, bring it back, or your book, and we'll lift and lower here. Next time it's lifted, go ahead and bring it into your left hand, bring it back as you kind of scissor the arms. Left hand will then come down as the right arm reaches up. You also have the opportunity of placing your hand at the small of your back if that's more accessible. Big breath in. Exhale. Cartwheel the arms. We'll have our props back forward. We find our plank or our push-up position, and then we'll lower all the way onto our bellies. To have those props here, keeping that torso lifted, but a long neck as we just lift and lower those blocks. And you're feeling engagement in the legs by really pushing into the tops of the feet. Those knees are lifted. One more of these, and then we'll lower, bringing those hands underneath the shoulders as we push it back into our down dog. Take a full breath in here. Exhale. And then we'll lift the right leg up. We're going to bring that knee to the center of our mat so that we're going to face the long edge, coming into what's called gate pose, reaching that arm overhead as we lean in towards the side. And then let's sit up to where we bring those hands behind the head. We'll open up through the chest and then close. Next time we open, hold it here, really pushing into the hands with your head. And then we'll lower it down for a supported side plank where we can lift that leg up. We can also bend that leg, reaching for the foot or ankle. Keep pushing the mat away and keep pushing into your hand with the foot as you continue to open up. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll release that down for our tabletop position, where we'll tuck our toes and come into down dog. Big breath in. Exhale. Left leg lifts. We'll bring that knee to the center of our mat, facing the opposite long side as we come into that gate pose, letting the right arm slide down the leg as the left arm reaches up and over. Breathing into that side body. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we'll come upright, interlacing the fingers behind the head, using the head to push against that hand as we open. Exhale, close. Next time we open, hold it here, really pushing into the hands. And then we'll release, setting that left hand down as we come into a supported side plank where we can bend that leg, finding the foot or ankle. That foot pushes into the hand to create that space to open up through the chest. One more big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll just release that for tabletop position, where we'll tuck our toes under and make our way into our down dog. Big inhale. Exhale. We'll lift up the right leg. Now we're going to bring it all the way forward. So foot will come in between the hands. Back foot grounds down into the 45. As we reach those arms up overhead for our warrior one, we'll immediately bring those arms behind the back, interlacing the fingers, dropping those shoulders down as we lift up the gaze and chest. So this way we're getting into that heart opener, but we're bringing both shoulders to the inside of that right knee, coming into a hip opener at the same time where you're going to let your head relax. It is not normal to have your head on the floor, so do not use this as a great example. Make sure that that right cheek draws towards the center line. Go ahead and bring your chin in towards your chest so that you keep a nice long neck. Big breath in. As we exhale, release those hands to the inside of the right foot. Lift up your back heel. So come into a lizard pose. We're also going to get a nice hip opener here. So we'll lower that back knee down as we lift up through the chest, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, we can round the upper back a little bit and just kind of do these little pulsations here. Next time that you bring your chest forward, make sure you're on that space right above the knee. Pick up the back leg for a quad stretch, which might be plenty. If there's more space available, you can always reach for that foot. Working on twisting towards the side as you stack shoulder on top of shoulder. One more breath in. Exhale. We can release that, bringing our hands down, finding our plank pose, going right to down dog, or if you want to take a little vinyasa in between, if that feels nice, feel free to do that. Big breath in here. Exhale, and then inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring that foot in between the hands, back foot grounds down, setting up for warrior one on the left side. So lifting up, and then we'll bring the arms behind the back. This time interlace the unusual way, or what I like to call the weird way. Shoulders will draw down as we lift up through our gaze and chest. Exhale, coming into our humble warrior. Think about bringing that left cheek towards the center line of the body and just letting the head relax here. Big breath in. As we exhale, release those hands to the inside of that left foot. Lift up your back heel, and we can lower that knee down as we come into this supported lizard pose, where we're doing those little pulsations. Next time we shift forward, we can pick up the back leg, feeling that quad stretch. Again, might be plenty, or we can reach for that foot, starting to twist the other direction. One more big breath in. Exhale. We'll release that, making our way to our plank pose. Option to take that vinyasa or go right to your down dog. From that down dog, take a big breath in. Exhale, let it go. And then we'll lower our knees. We're going to take our strap so we can sit back onto our heels. Again, this is not normal to like to have your toes tucked under. That's my preference though. You can always sit on the tops of your feet, or you can sit up on a prop. We're going to take that strap really lightly, so we're not trying to grip really hard. So in between the index finger and thumb, and we're working it down like we're lifting really big weights, which we are obviously not in this scenario. But that doesn't mean we're not feeling a lot going on as we draw those shoulders back. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we'll bring that strap to the side. We're going to come onto our belly. And what's most important is when we're coming onto our bellies, we're going to make a T-like shape. So it's really important not to bring the arm next to your body, because then you're not going to really get any benefit out of this aspect. We're going to extend the right arm out to the side, so the left hand will come underneath our shoulder. We'll bring our right ear temple onto the mat as we lift up the left leg, and we're going to take it to the outside of that leg. So we're opening up the shoulder here. You're bringing that left arm to the small of your back. If you need a little bit less, if something feels like it's kind of not feeling super great in the lower back, you can always bring that right knee in closer towards your chest. And then you still get the benefit of the shoulder opening without feeling tweaky in the lower back. And just close the eyes, focused on the breath here for a few as we inhale. Exhale. We inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. And then we'll come back onto our bellies, going right into our other side. So left arm will extend out. Left ear temple comes onto the mat as we have that hand underneath. We bend the right leg this time as we come into our shoulder opener here. And you might notice, just like anything, one side might be more accessible than the other. That's totally normal. Breathing here for a few as we inhale. Exhale. We inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. And exhale. From here, we'll make our way back onto our bellies. Hands will come underneath the shoulders as we push it back into a tabletop position, maybe finding a little bit of movement from side to side. And that's what I've got for us today. Hopefully that is helpful. Of course, you can do these multiple times if that's helpful, because this is a little short intro to all these different pieces to kind of open up the upper back and shoulders and a little bit of the hip flexors so that we don't turn into shrimp. Until next time, namaste.